you may notice at the top of this example a new big scary thing that I haven't showed you yet, and you, you don't have to worry about it too much. It's just something that I copy and paste every time I write up a website. This is the doctype. That's what it actually is. And this is just the very first thing your browser reads, because it's at the top of the page, and it says the type of this document, doctype, is HTML. That's, as far as we're concerned, that's what this says, all of this. It says, you're going to treat this as a web page, and then it sees HTML and says, okay, this is where the web page starts, but this is the first thing it needs to encounter. And I've heard that in the newest version of HTML5, you don't actually need this. I haven't experimented with it personally. I don't think it hurts to put it anyway. It's just something you should put at the top. And it's, long, and it has, public, and then quotation marks, W3, which is, W3 is the acronym for the organization that kind of standardizes HTML and says what the rules are. And so it's saying you're using W3 standards, XHTML, strict, EN, and then that's the end of that quotation. And then it has the website, which isn't, I don't think that's a good website for you to visit. It doesn't look very fun, but it's what your browser has to visit if it has a question about how should I interpret this document that's here. The major things don't change. The HTML, the body, paragraphs, that stuff, I don't think is going to change anytime soon. But little technical things, I don't even know what they change from one version to the next. HTML5 has some cool new features, but generally, it's not going to change too much from one version to another, so you don't have to worry about keeping up with what's going on. That's kind of what this does for you. It tells your browser, this is what version you should be looking at. That's the long and short of it. So I also have the classic HTML tag and the body tag, and now I'm going to show you a new useful type of tag that you can do. It's IMG. What do you think that stands for? Image. This is how you put images into an HTML document, which seems like is an important thing. If you're trying to make something that's user-friendly and interesting to look at, you want to have pictures. And so the image, the IMG, is the beginning, and it just says, hey, listen up, browser, this is going to be a picture. And then SRC, which I can only imagine stands for source. I haven't actually seen that explained as this stands for source, but it makes sense. This is the source of where you're getting the image. And then you type in, normally you would just copy and paste it. It would be http://www dot, examplepictures.com/files. I'm just making this up. This isn't a real website. / and then just some, tag number of what picture you're looking at. And let me slide that over. So the very first thing on our web page is going to be this picture, and I don't care what the picture is, but I'll close it off, and then I'll put image / Actually, I think the / just goes right here. I really apologize if I said that wrong, but I think it should go right there. I promise I'll re-record the video if I'm wrong. So I'll make that a better color. Okay. So then, where do I draw my web page? I'll just scroll over a little bit. So far on our web page, I'm probably going to have a lot on here, so I'm going to draw a nice big screen. And something like that. Okay, so far all we have is a picture in one corner. Why is this? I'm having a tough time drawing here. There. So there are more complicated things to putting in pictures, but so far we have a smiley face. Well, I'll probably make a whole video just on how to handle images, because there are some more peculiar things going on. But for now, you can just know that this is how an image works, and you'll be good. That's one important tag that you should know, just if you're trying to read someone else's HTML, because you can always view the source of a website. I don't know if that's common knowledge or not, but you can, in your web browser, there's usually a thing of view source, or I don't know what else it would be phrased as. In the one I use, it's view source. But then you can just, open up in your web browser this code behind the web page, and you can see, oh, okay, so they have this wrapped in a div tag, and they used the image source from another website, and maybe they were not having permission to use the image. Maybe they were. Something to look out for. Okay, I'll move on to another useful thing in HTML. There's just so many. The next one is, let's see, I'll do list. So if you want to have a list of things, I think you've seen this on web pages. They either have maybe a dot next to them, like a little bullet point, or they can have numbers. Or you can define your own thing, of course. But the general ones are, you can have an unordered list. UL stands for unordered list. So I'll do this one first. So you type UL to start, okay, listen up, this is going to be a list. That doesn't matter what order they're in. That's pretty self-explanatory. If it's an unordered list, then it's just bullet points. It's just, this and that and that, rather than this and then that, and then number 3 and then number 4. So then to put a item in the list, you put list item, and then you put, something, and then you close the list item. And this is kind of a cumbersome way of handling it, but it works. I'm going to indent this. I'm just going to pretend there's a tab or a bunch of spaces right here, because it's easier to read if I do that, or at least I think so. So there's my first list item, and then I'll put another list item. This one will be something else / list item. Okay. So just for demonstration, I'll just have 2 lists, and then /ul marks the end of my unordered list. And how will that look in the web browser? Well, I'll show you. It will have probably a dot, and it'll say something, and it will have a dot, and it will say something else. That's more or less what it'll look like. Depending on your browser, it might be spaced out, it might have a bigger margin in between, they might, I don't know what else. But this at least will always look something like an unordered list. That you can take for granted. The other type of list, let me find, orange looks nice. The other type of list is an ordered list. OL, short for ordered list. So we slide that over. And an ordered list is also, hopefully, self-explanatory. This is what goes in order. It's things that would have numbers at the front, or like steps in a process, like or ingredients or something. So then I will put, this part's the same, list item. I don't know, first. I'm having very uncreative examples, but first step, or first list item, and then li second /li. And again, I'll just put 2 of them. And then I have to end the unordered list like that. And I'll have to show you how that will look. It will be, it'll probably be a little spaced off from that. It'll say 1, maybe a dot, maybe not, I don't know. 1, first, 2, second. And so, oh, you can also have a list within a list. That's kind of interesting. I'll show you how that looks really quick. maybe it'll be self-explanatory, maybe it won't. So inside of this unordered list, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. This top one, the unordered list, is going to stay the same. I'm not going to mess with that. But on the ordered list, I'm going to have step 3, and then I'll have a sublist inside of that. And I'll keep explaining as I go. So now I'm drawing a blank, actually. What is it? List item. And then I have to put unordered list, I believe. So there I have list item, unordered list. And then for my next line, I would have list item. I have to think of new things to put in. Foo slash list item. Whoops. I kind of lost my thunder because I'm not completely sure I'm doing this right, but I think that if I do that, it would render correctly. It would say, oh, I'll have to finish it up. Then I'll go slash unordered list, which this list only has one thing, so it doesn't really affect. I'll have to put another one. I don't want it to be completely useless, so then li bar, oops, slash list item. Okay. So maybe you shouldn't quote me on this. Just take it for granted that it is possible. I have seen it done. I don't remember the specifics of how it worked, but I think I'm doing it right. Slash list item for the entire section here, right there, and then I have to put an end to the unordered list. I'm getting more confident as I go that this is the right way to do it. So now I will draw my little brackets and explain what's going on. First we start the unordered list, and then we have first, which corresponds to first, we have second, which corresponds to second, and then we have number 3, and number 3 has inside of it this unordered list, which in itself has two things. So it has foo and bar, and that's the unordered list. This is ul, or oh, that's the ordered list. Oh, I have another ordered list? I meant to make that unordered. It would work either way, but I don't want an ordered list inside of an ordered list. So it would be, foo and bar. So first do this, second do that, third do both of these. I'm sorry if I'm confusing you, but I just wanted to prove that this was possible. You can experiment on your own, but that's lists and also images. There you go.